The next finance formula that we take a look at is the most typical one, which is known as the present value approach. And there are four variables that we need to go ahead and take a look at, as we can see right here. And it basically tells us what the present value of a future income stream is going to be today. But it's only going to be for one income stream. So one income stream later on. So let's go ahead and build up this present value formula. Here, the present value formula. And you will see a lot of different ways to approach this present value formula in your finance classes. You'll get into a lot more complex formulas, but we'll just tackle the basic one here. We have four variables, as we said. We have the present value, we have a future value, we have 1 plus the interest rate, which we're going to denote as a lowercase I, and the time period, which is n. So present value equals future value divided by 1 plus I raised to the nth power. So as we said, PV is the present value. And the present value is exactly what we are interested in looking for. What is this thing worth today? So here currently, year number 0, at this current time period, what is this investment or what is this sort of benefit going to be for me today? The future value, FV, as we can see right here, future value, this is exactly what the investment is going to bring us later on. So maybe 3 years from now, 10 years from now, it's just telling us exactly what the value is going to be later on. I is going to be the interest rate. So interest rate is determined by the loanable funds market. And then finally here we have N, which is going to be the time period. And for simplicity in the course, we're going to go ahead and assume that time is going to be on an annual basis. So 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and so on. If you wanted to go ahead and have like sort of compound growth in terms of a quarterly basis, a daily basis, then the formula would change just a little bit. But for simplicity, we're only going to be working in annual time periods. So let's go ahead and use this formula right here to solve for a present value. So suppose someone agrees to pay you, to pay you, say $500 in 2 years. The question that we can ask is, what is the present value if the interest rate is 5%? So what is the present value if the interest rate is 5%? And that's more than enough information to figure out what the present value is going to be. You just go ahead and substitute the numbers that you know into the formula. The present value is what we are interested in solving for, so that's going to be our unknown. That's the left-hand side. The future value is exactly what you expect to receive later on, and that's going to be this $500 here. With the general present value formula, you're only going to have one future income stream, which makes it so simple. So 500 in the numerator. Next is going to be 1 plus the interest rate. We divide it by 1 plus the interest rate. It's important to put this interest rate into decimal form. Once again, do not leave it as a whole number. You will get very, very wrong answers if you do that. So 1 plus 0.05. Make sure to go ahead and move the decimal point over 2 places for the interest rate. And then final thing is to go ahead and raise the denominator to the time period. And our time period is 2 years right here. So raise that to the second power. Notice it's only the denominator that's getting raised to the second power. It's not the entire fraction. Go ahead, solve this out, simplify as much as you can. We have 500 divided by 1.1025. Go ahead, plug that into your calculator, and the present value is equal to $453.51. So the present value of this $500 2 years from now is equal to 453.51. That tells us that you'd be indifferent between receiving $500 in 2 years or $453.51 today. Remember that money is always more valuable today. So here, if you take this 453.51 today, you can go ahead and invest it at that 5%, and that's exactly going to give you that $500 2 years from now. So essentially, this is the present value in its most simplest form, and you can go ahead, use the formula, substitute the numbers that you know in order to see what the present value is going to be. We can, of course, make this a little bit more complex by saying, what happens if we just don't have one future income stream? What happens if we have an income stream in year number 1, year number 2, year number 5, 10, and so on? And that's where we get into the future income streams, that formula, in the next video.